Thank you for subscribe.
And channel membership.
Thank you membership.
What I'd like to talk about this morning is, if I can do it, is appearances in Thailand. It's a big deal. It's very different than in the West, and certainly very, very different than the Midwestern United States. I'll say that for sure. I talked about this more maybe a year or two ago on my channel. Haven't mentioned it in a while, hence I thought I'd bring it up. And then I do, though, frequently mention that, like, you got to clean yourself up and all that. That's kind of the same thing. If you think about it, it kind of starts like if you've known anyone, a guy or a lady that has had a divorce and they're back in the market, so to say, and then you'll see them all of a sudden they got a haircut, more stylish clothes, they've lost 15 pounds, you know. For a woman, all of a sudden her hair, makeup, nails are always done every day as she's going. You know, it just you don't even have to ask if they've had a divorce recently. It's like super obvious, right? So it kind of starts with your own personal appearance. The grooming and hygiene standard, as I try to frequently just briefly repeat for everyone's benefit who's thinking of coming here, those standards are much higher here than what we have in the West. I still wear my flannel shirts here, whether I should or I shouldn't, I don't know. I don't adapt to or partake in every aspect of the Thai culture. People probably have a misperception that I just go along with whatever they say, and I don't. I make an assessment for myself, what I think is interesting to me and that I like, and some things I don't care for and I don't partake. If I want to wear what I call one of my Jiao Chu shirts, I might wear that around a mall. That's typically, I'm only going to do that if I'm going to, daw by, continue on at a nice restaurant, Daya's Eatery or something like that. Then I'll wear one of my nice. It's like a nightclub kind of shirts. They're nice, I sometimes I wear one making a video. You can tell and decide for yourself. But anyway, so that's kind of on the appearance side. But then it's like the appearance of what you're doing counts for just as much, I guess. I'm not sure if it's more or less, but it's we'll call it the same. And so if you're invited, and you'll get baited. You will. I've had it happen to me, and you will get baited to join a group of men. I'll just say, to join you for drinking at the corner pub in the village or something, and you'll end up looking bad and getting a bad reputation for that. Guess who won't? Yeah, the other people, because they're from here. There's no negative stereotypes about themselves, which is just, every group does that. That's just the way the world works, Everybody always has a negative stereotype about people from some group other than their own. That's just, I don't tell you about that. But I've avoided that because on one hand, I don't care what a lot of people think or say about me. On the other hand, I do take some pride in my own reputation. Like, I did work pretty hard to have a nice reputation and separate myself from the overwhelming majority of 90% or whatever it is of the foreigners that choose to live out in the Isan region, which is where I am. They don't have a great reputation. They live up to that not great reputation, and I just don't want to be lumped into that. I took the effort to speak the language, to clean myself up, and find an appropriate woman, and not a sex worker of any kind. And I don't want to throw that all away for nothing. Rob's just one of those regular guys. I don't. For me, somehow I find that kind of offensive, as you can tell, and that just doesn't interest me. Anybody else can do what they want. I will tell you that my life here is very different from that of nearly every other local older foreign retiree, because I'm engaged daily with the Thais. I'm speaking with them, dining with them, and it's just a very different life, which I appreciate. People that tend to watch my videos tend to be more my kind of group with my friends and stuff. We all kind of see it the same way, by the way. We all kind of look at it as, as we're older, we want a partner that will actually care about us because of either current or future perceived physical needs. and the general comfort that provides. A smoking hot hottie that's kind of good for one thing only. That's a lot of stress. That's a lot of stress. Me and my friends have already been through a lot of stress coming from the female relationship area in our lives, and we're definitely not looking for more. Definitely not looking for more. So, and I'll tell you, here's a funny one. Back home as an example, if you're an older guy, like me and practically everybody that watches my channels, this might be interesting to you, and you want to actually look younger, which I can tell you physically can these days. A lot of aging is just keeping the weight off. You don't probably want to hear that. It just is what it is. I took 50 pounds off before I came here. Praise God, that timing could not have been better. Of all the crappy things that happened to me over the last year and a half before I came to Thailand, which was precipitated my coming to Thailand, a couple lucky things did happen, and one was just 50 pounds falling off. That was all. I mean, I did put some effort in. I will take partial credit. Some of it is I got the stress out of my life and I just stopped eating. It was the John Candy swallowing a lot of aggression along with a lot of pizza, And apparently, because as soon as the divorce started and everything, all of a sudden my stress just went away. And it was funny because a friend of mine predicted this because I asked him, I was thinking of getting a divorce. I was thinking about what might happen. And he goes, Rob, in your case, a divorce might be less stressful than your marriage. And I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah, no, because he'd been divorced twice. Then he found the right lady, and they're both really, really happy, and they're great people. But that turned out to be true. He's one of those friends that doesn't give an opinion often, but if you really ask him, he'll give you a good one, and it almost always turns out to be true. Those are awesome friends to have. Hard to find, but they're great when you have one. Anyways, that's my buddy Todd. But you can actually look and set your life back about 15 years. Here, your age, people do lie about their age, although less so here than back in the West, but you certainly can. I mean, that's not like being a liar or a bad guy. You just throw your age back a little bit on your dating profile, then later on you go, yeah, I'm really, 57 or something or whatever. But if you look younger, and more importantly, if you look good, you will be assessed more on your appearance than your actual chronological number. With most of us, the number and the appearance go hand in hand, but you can control that. I mean, I've gotten the skin treatments, and if you look at old videos of me, I mean, I look fairly different. It's surprising to me that, a couple people that noticed it really went, oh my God, Rob, what the heck? You really look, they're complimentary, but they're like, you look really different. But most people, because you do a treatment and a treatment and a treatment, and you look like, 2% better every time, it happens slowly. It's not like going and getting a facelift, and they crank your chin up over your eyebrows, which usually doesn't look very good. So I did that. So you can do the skin treatments here, which are really effective. But you can do that. You keep the weight off. You can get a Thai-style haircut, which is short on the sides, and do whatever you want on the top, pretty much. Or unless you can rock the long hair thing, guys do. You get where I'm going with this. A lot of it's clothes, and I'll tell you more good news. Fitness isn't a big thing with the Thai people. And I had a really interesting talk with a Thai man who's, I would say, probably I would maybe call him a bodybuilder. He's in extremely good shape. I'd trade bodies with him in a second, notwithstanding the fact he's 30 years younger than me. I'd love that. And so here's a guy that's really bought into the whole glam yai, big muscle thing. And he said probably only about 40% of Thai women appreciate being muscular and really like extremely fit, not just like every lady wants a guy that's kind of fit. It's just not a big thing here. So if most of us 65 on average are not in shape, do the best you can, and the rest, clothes. You need nice clothes, especially do the untucked, like my Jiao Chu shirts. If I can, if I can find a couple photos, I'll throw one or two in to show you what I'm talking about. But I do the nice, classy, untucked shirt thing. And that you can wear to a wedding. You can go, if it's a black shirt, that's your funeral stuff. Going out to dinner at any nice restaurant, nice date, make a good impression, you're done. One piece of Thai gold. And I've had I've had like two idiots comment negatively on that on my channel in 3 years. I wouldn't say haters really, but if you went and bought like a pile of gold to show off and flex the fact that you have a lot more money than the average Thai person, I'd say that's in poor taste. But I think that goes without saying. We don't need to say that. But if you just have like one or two baht, which is a quantity you can learn about. I have a gold video if you want to just look it up on your own. But one piece of 1 or 2 baht Thai gold jewelry, 3 baht, maybe if it's a necklace or something, and you're done. Just to show a little bit that you get the culture. Oh, you understand Thai culture. You bought a piece of Thai gold. Thai gold is different from all Western gold. The Thais don't like Western gold. If you wear like a Western jewelry, it kind of confuses them as they assess you, which they will. Guaranteed they will. Your last therapist didn't assess you as carefully as the Thai people you meet will. They are the Sherlock Holmes society here. They notice every little thing. If I change one thing about my parents, my motorcycle, Fawn changes one little thing. We had one dent in her car. I picked her up through a rainstorm, got a freaking dent in the door, and I had 3 people walk by. Oh, new dent. Like, I would have never noticed that in somebody else's car. They know each other's license plate numbers. They pay attention to everything. So, by the way, when you think you're fooling them, you're not. They're like, hey, he thinks he's fooling us. Isn't that entertaining? That's what they're talking about. You're not fooling anybody here. But no, you can do that. Clothes, and a little bit of nice appearance. Keep decent glasses and stuff. Just stuff like that. And then you got to do the bathing and the hygiene. You got to minimum 2. And for us big, heavier, older, hairier guys, I usually shower 4 times a day. That's just, I like to stay clean. I don't want to be the smelly guy. I don't think that wasn't one on my list of goals last I checked. So but I exercise. I work out almost every day. I do something, and after exercise, I shower. Here's an example that we all probably don't like, but it's true. So if you pair up with a woman that's way, way, way more attractive than you, and obviously, or by appearance, much younger looking than you are, even if you're only 55, you're an early retiree, good for you, smart choice. But if you're a hard-looking 55, you should put some work in, because if you've got an attractive 30-year-old and your average 30-year-old Thai woman still looks really good, or 35-year-old Thai woman looks really good, you don't look that great as a couple. And so, hey, what do I care? Well, what you do care about is she's not saving face by that. And this appearances ties absolutely directly in to saving face, which is, I'm going to call it the absolute single most important thing in the entire culture here. I would say it's equal to money. And that's a giant statement. And I don't think anybody else on the internet's saying that, but I'm convinced I'm right. Even if it's a close second of some kind, who cares? The important thing is it's important to them. So it should be important to you. And if you take a Thai woman and she looks good, let's just say she's 30, let's say she's 40 years old. Let's say she's 40 years old, but she's pretty and she looks good for her age, as many of them tend to do. And you don't look 40 and youthful and all that. You look 60 or 55 or 65 or whatever it is. She's losing I'm telling you, if you can make a good Thai friend, they'll tell you this, but it's hard for a Westerner to do that. I fell into a group that was very Kareng Jai, considerate with me, and that's how I got the whole channel. I literally fell into this. The stuff that I get and we talk about on the channel, why you don't see it generally anywhere else, is mostly us Westerners aren't allowed this little peek under the behind the curtain here. It's kind of a misstatement when I say she isn't, because she is not saving face by your natural appearance together. So then, therefore, she has to, which she will, go and save face by another means. They will not voluntarily lose face. They will not say, oh, wow, I lost face on that. Oh, guess that's all done. Lost all that face. Oh, we're over. Lost it. They won't do that. They'll double down, triple down, quadruple down. They'll come up with a way to save face. So hear me out. So in that case, what the woman is generally pressured to do by herself and her friends is she's going to have to come up with a story of why she's with you. And a lot of the time that'll be, well, money. My mom is sick. I need the money. And he's really rich. He gives me, a ton of money every month. And, and you get into a story like that, which may or may not be true, but that's how she's doing it. But my point to you is that I think it's kind of obvious to see how that's a very slippery and fast slope to a kind of cancer in a relationship where she's got to lie to everyone around her, or maybe she is just using you for money only. The problem is how do you know? You're not even going to know what she's telling her friends, so you're not going to know if it's true or not. So you get into this weird relationship with it. And so my advice to everybody is to, as you get to know ladies in your dating, is learn their background, their current circumstances, their family support, all these things. Get to really know that person, and then you kind of see their motivation for why, like what are the good reasons, the actual like reasons that make sense why they're with you. Like if she's got, like if I'll tell you flat out, if a lady's got no visible need for you, you're money only, pal. I don't want to tell you, but you're money only. You know, if she has absolutely no need for you whatsoever, there's your answer. The default answer on this whole million lines of code is you're money only. It's your job to make sure you don't hit the default answer. It's up to each and every one of us. I did that with Fawn. Fawn has 2 male children. Ty Man will absolutely not ever stand him up at the gates of hell for eternity. He will not raise another man's male children. Okay, Fawn is locked out of eligibility. I get that. Okay. She's losing face left, right, and center with her current social circumstances before I came along. Now she's saving face left, right, and center. Oh, hey, this kind of makes sense. She's a little too young and pretty for me, but she's got these other circumstances, and I was able to clean myself up a little bit. I did with the skin treatment, staying on the diet, and doing 4 years of recovery after 5 years of surgeries. I have been able to regain some, I'll never regain it all, but some physicality. Some of that has led to some improvement in appearance. When you're in 24-hour pain, you don't look your best. I bet you didn't know that one, right? No, anyway, so there's all that. So I've been able to I met her on I was like on the down. I was on the lowest down. I mean, I came to her after my big losing weekend in Vegas or something. I mean, I was down and almost, but not quite out. When we started dating.
Okay, this next segment, I'm talking about a woman that I was dating at the same time I was early on in dating Fawn, and I needed to break it off with this woman to focus on Fawn exclusively. And one of the reasons I did so was because she was just too young and pretty.
She was just such ridiculous smoking hotness. It just, these are tough problems you have in Thailand, I know. But I had to kick her to the curb, and buddy, that one hurt. That one hurt. I was like, I've got this lady that seems to genuinely care for me. There's all these real reasons why she really would need to care for me. She's kind of been through a financial test where instead of selling herself, she went and got a job at the garden center next to her family's farm, which didn't make enough money to support them. Like those are all good jai kind of things for a Thai woman to do. So she kind of passed a lot of real world tests, but she was just so pretty. If I can fairly obfuscate, because I would never out her because she was a very nice person, very ethical and nice, honestly. But if I can show a photo and obfuscate it enough so I'm not being unfair to her in any way, I'll show it. We would always look like an old man and a young hottie. There's no amount of skin treatments on this planet that I could do to correct that one. Or with Fawn, we kind of pair up a little bit. And we look. I look a little silly together. I get that. I'm not in denial that I don't, but it's not too bad. And I probably wouldn't deliberately have paired up with somebody quite as young and pretty as Fawn is, but she's so smart and she's such a cool person. She's got such a killer personality. I had to kind of oversee some of the excessive youth and beauty. Isn't this a problem, guys? I'm joking, but it sort of was, though. It sort of was. Isn't that weird? But that's just the way it is. But this is how it is if you pay attention to the culture, are observant to your surroundings, and start to dig a little deeper on things versus just going, the first hottest girl at the bar, which is their job to flirt with you, that flirts with you, and then you go, hey, let's get married. I mean, that's such a common story here, and you got to be careful. I mean, good morning. Wow, that's Fawn's beauty pageant winning friend. We'll talk about smoking hotness. Not being disrespectful. She's extremely pretty. Everyone says she's extremely pretty, but she's very nice to me. She's actually a nice person. Just married a guy. Just married a guy. I was at the wedding. They took photos on my Harley Davidson, which were really cute. But you can see how this goes either for you or against you, depending on how, if you're aware of it or not, and how you use it to your advantage or not. I feel I've observed and then verified all these things with my closest Thai friends, and then I've taken which ones that I care about and turned them to my advantage here. And this helps in my life. So I let me back up. Like a lot of guys here, as I know a little bit about their circumstance, and particularly if my knowledge of them comes through the Thai community, I'll learn, oh yeah, the guy's a total sucker. They're totally playing him. He's married this lady. Her real husband lives, 4 doors down. Or these are real examples, people. She's literally biding her time, waiting for enough years to go by to divorce him in the home country because she's getting citizenship, and I think it's 7 years after citizenship in the U.S. they can divorce you and take half, like a full wife could. Some will play that long. They're playing the long con. These are all serious minefields that are really, I'm going to say, impossible to navigate on your own. There's no way you'll be aware of these. I don't know anybody that's that adept at the culture and the language and has, you have to have Thai friends giving you a heads up going, hey, Rob, this isn't cool. Or, hey, Bob or Larry, this is going on. Did you know that, who's going to call, if you don't pay any attention and have any knowledge of this, who's going to call you and tell you, we just saw your wife, with somebody else at an expensive restaurant, or at a hotel, I mean, who's going to make that phone call to you, there's a real value to this. But I like being aware of my surroundings. That's a martial arts thing. I told this once before, but one teacher that I interviewed at his school, and I did ultimately join, he said, look, the beauty of this is that you get your black belt and beyond, you now control about a 6-foot radius all around you, wherever you go. Whatever happens or not is whatever you allow to happen within that little space. That little magic bubble follows you wherever you wander through the rest of your life. No one's pulling any kind of crap that you don't agree with, or you can shut it down. And I was like, that sounded really appealing to me. Maybe that doesn't appeal to the average guy, but to me, I was like, man, that sounds good. Sign me up. And it's true. It's true. Appearances. So appearances leads to saving face. Saving face is the biggest thing. Any woman that's with you, any woman and all women with you will be saving face in how they manage, how they interact with their family, how good anxiety they are with their mama, and how they take care of their family, what a good parent they are if they have kids, how loyal of an employee or friend they are. Those will all be versions of those stories will be taught. The Ballad of Davy Crockett. Every aspect of it will be, in a favorable light, okay? And as will their relationship with you. That will be told in a way that makes them look good. How that can happen is really up to us, and a lot of that is, almost all of that is partner selection. You really want to be careful that you're with a lady that can save face with you in a legitimate and sincere and authentic way by what actual real value you provide and how they actually really do care for you. Because the good Thai East End woman, getting back to the good news, she will save face by doing good for you, being loyal to you, always talking you up. When there was a road crew working the road in front of our little cheap rental room I lived in for 3 years while I was recovering from a series of spinal surgeries. Praise God, that's over. Fawn let me know, and she goes, hey, it would be really, good anxiety of you to go out there and hand them a little bag with a couple bottles of beer in it and some snacks and stuff. And I went, oh, really? That sounds good. I can do that. I was just sitting home recovering, laying in bed all day on a block of ice, so hey, why not? I had those little gel pads. I was rotating them in and out of the freezer. I do that all day, like 4 days a week, like every other day. A lot of fun. And so I took a break from that and from freeze-drying myself and walked up to the store, which was a big deal for me. It's like a 16th of a mile away or something, and went and offered that. And then, now that made me look good. And then by in turn made Fawn look good. That's her cultural husband in the village, handing out the beer, bowing to people, speaking back then I spoke a tiny bit of the language, like strong basic Thai or something, and all that stuff, and smiling and bowing. And, you do a lot of smiling and bowing, and that goes a long way here. And so that's a good way to save face versus saving face by, we had a lady one time, Obviously, I won't say where, but I'm in this room, and there's me and Fawn, this lady, and nobody else in the room. And then she tells Fawn, she tried to say it colloquially so I wouldn't catch it. I caught part of it. I knew she had said something she shouldn't have. By a couple of the words, I'm like, man, that's odd. And then I asked, and Fawn immediately, I didn't have to ask actually, she volunteered it. And she goes, that lady just said that she doesn't have to care for her husband anymore because she's cleaned him out already. He's got no money left. So now she can kind of, didn't have to worry about him and kind of let him go and let his health just decline, and it's his problem. Why would she say such a cruel and vicious thing? Saving face. Because he looked terrible. He was way too old for her. He didn't do any grooming, clothes. I mean, he was, I'm just going to call it what it is, okay? So forgive me, guys, but he was kind of a gross looking dude. I mean, he'd be undergroomed by a Detroit standard. We go, geez, man, what the heck, you know? And so here, yeah, man, you can't do that. And then he was not careful with his money, and he did get, and there's various scams he got cleaned out by. Yeah, sad. I mean, that's a situation you don't want to be in, and I'm telling you, that's not that uncommon out here. You go into Bangkok, you'll find more modern women, the Samaimai ladies, the modern ladies. Generally, that's a big fat negative for me personally, and for most of us older foreign guys. But if you're a younger digital nomad guy, or you're a very youthful, and not as old of an expat, and you want to go there and date, you can find a lady that will want to kind of bang on, share everything with you, and do a more Western style marriage or partnership where you share the rent expenses and this and that. If you like that kind of thing, that's great. I don't. I'm a Neanderthal. I like having the big money, and Fawn has her. She actually does really well for a Thai, but I have way, way, way more than she does. And so I like being the big dog and just saying and set the rules. And this is it. I want this. I want that. And I want you to help me with this. I'm going to help you with all these other things you need, though. And that may sound bad to some people, I guess, but I'm old. I'm from the 70s, and that's just what I grew up with, and that's what I like. It's how I'm comfortable. I did the trusting other people and the partnership thing, and that's never, let me check, never once worked out for old Rob. So we're not doing that one again. I think it'd be kind of unintelligent of me to try that yet one more time. And literally, onto a different subject a little bit, but with my personal retirement and the way I got cleaned out by being so dumb and many things that I did that were dumb at the end, I have enough to live very comfortably for the rest of my life if I don't do anything stupid. I did stupid stuff before, and I had enough to cover it. I don't have that anymore. It's like Star Trek. The shields are all down. I can't take one more hit, guys. So I'm careful. I'm careful. Any chips I have on the table at this moment are chips I could walk away from. I will not put any number of chips on the table that I could not walk away from. That would be way too much risk for me, which is odd because I was always a high risk guy. But those the different mode. I had to kind of shift modes. Anyway, so there's appearances in Thailand. Saving face. Never, ever, ever underestimate saving face. Never. If you set yourself up in a relationship with anyone, and particularly a girlfriend or wife, and you have it in such a way that she's not inherently saving face, you have really screwed yourself. I know a couple guys that have the young, smoking hot and hotness wives, and let me review for your benefit. They're mega rich, handsome, have personality, have talent in many things. They're extremely smart guys, and they tower over me in about every measure a man could. I'm just being honest. I mean, I'm not them. I can't be them. I don't have that kind of money. I don't have that much personality. I'm kind of a recluse. I mean, and they got what they got, and that's cool. I'm happy with what I got, and this is a good fit for me. But if you want the whole big fancy package, you better have all the stuff to back it up, or it just goes south for us foreign residents here. Because we just don't know any better to see all the warning signs coming our way. We're a goose ripe for plucking. All right, that's it. But hey, it's all good. This is easy to avoid. This isn't difficult. Just relax, go slow, and choose wisely, and you won't have any problems here.
I had to cheat and look it up, but I got the word for dermatologist, Maoropyunan. And it's like 20 characters long. I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh gosh.
But I got it. I pronounced it correctly. And I'm getting some regular treatments here, some blood stuff I get regularly. And we're going to go see the dermatologist because I got some stuff on my right arm and I don't like the look of it. So at least it's not on my face this time. But the beauty of speaking Thai, it's so convenient. I'm able to navigate here and ask questions, make an appointment. When you leave the hospital and you get out of that ice cold air conditioning, they love really cold buildings here. I left my flannel in the car. I should have brought it. Jeez, it's freezing. They're gonna cure me and I'm just gonna die of hypothermia. I got 3 pieces of precancerous, not good, removed from my arm, and my regular medical treatment. So all for under $550, which was a lot more than I thought it was going to cost. In all honesty, about double what I expected. But I'm not flying home and using my insurance. I'll tell you that.
Here's just a couple of casual photos from this week. This is obviously Fawn with me at lunch, just a casual Thai lunch, and then her parents showed up to pour the concrete in the backyard for a little storage area, and breakfast she made me, and then this was my lunch at Dea's Eatery after my treatments at St. Mary's. Dea's is right behind St. Mary's, so I almost always go there. It becomes like a double feature for me. Just a funny picture of Fawn. Again, it's nice when we're playful throughout the day and stuff. These kinds of things pass the time, and just kind of makes for a generally pleasant retirement.
Thank you for watching my YouTube video. If you've watched this far, please consider hitting like and subscribe.